Hello, everyone. My name is Justin, and welcome back. We are Is It Scary, Wisconsin. I'm joined here tonight by my best friend, Gage. And welcome to Is It Scary After Dark, Episode 2. That name, bro. That name.
Reminds me of the day when I was a kid and I was flipping through some channels I shouldn't have been flipping through.
Tonight's episode, The Hearts and Hates of Haunted Attractions. But before we get
While
started
we're at
tonight,
it,
before we get started tonight, I just want to remind you all that we do have merch available. It's in a link in the description because Gage is on top of things. Now he always gets those links in the description for you guys. Make sure
you
you check it
finally
out.
say that.
Yeah, I'm giving you some love,
every
bro.
remembers,
I'm giving you some
and
love.
like,
No,
I remember.
I'm giving you some love, bro. And you guys, check this out. The brand new catchphrase hoodie. If it ain't, is it scary, Wisconsin? It ain't shit. I love this hoodie. This is so cool.
I drew that little poo myself with my hands on my drawing pad.
I drew that poo myself.
I drew the poo.
And of course, you can get a whole variety of other things like metal plates, a t-shirt like Gage is wearing, some other options as well. So make sure you guys check that out if you like us. Make sure you're following us on Is It Scary Wisconsin on Instagram. And make sure if you're not subscribed that you do like the video if you guys enjoy this kind of content.
Speaking of which, keep talking.
And tonight, we're going to be discussing things we love and things we hate about haunted houses. So, now, let me just be the first to say, we have some thoughts. So what I did, I just kind of went through, Gage, and I know you and I talked about a few of these, and we kind of went over a few of these. And I made a list, it looks like 7 things that we really like, around 9 things that we don't necessarily care for. And if it's okay, I'd like to start with something that we hate at haunts. And I think this one is annoying not only to haunt goers, but haunt owners and managers as well. Lack of actors. Gage, your thoughts?
The thing is with lack of actors, you can definitely tell, especially when you go through a haunted house more than once in a year. You can tell when you go through a haunt with sufficient actors and one with insufficient actors. Because you walk through it, you're in that room. Where is everyone?
Yeah, and I know you and I have kind of had that experience before, and it is something that, you can always do like a prop scare, or you can always do an air dump scare, like you and I have actually done a few times. You and I have noticed that a few times at some of the haunts, but that can only carry you so far. Eventually, at some point, you really do need to have that kind of person-to-person interaction, that actor to patron interaction. It's really, really hard to phone that in, and it's something I actually have it listed as my number one thing that I hate the most. It is something that, man, it's really hard to overlook when you go through a haunt and you're like, ugh, dead room, dead room, dead room. Then they finally scare you and you're like, thank you, I needed it. It's so true.
Oh, so I did spend my money. Okay.
Oh, so I am getting my money's worth. Yeah. Let's talk about another thing that we hate at haunts. And this is something that is usually noticeable right from the get-go.
Okay.
Bad organization. Now, what I mean by this is when you go to a haunt and you ask somebody, hey, where am I supposed to go? And they're like, this is my first night here. I'm actually not sure where the line starts. Like something like that, right?
I'm going to be honest. I've never experienced that. Have you?
Or when you're standing in line and somebody comes to you and says, well, this is actually the line for the gift shop. The line for the attractions over there.
I know what you mean now.
That kind of stuff. Bad organization, right? Miscommunication amongst workers, not necessarily haunt actors, but amongst like customer service workers, or when you're at the ticket booth and you ask them, hey, how much is the haunt? And they have to check with the person sitting next to them. because the person selling the tickets doesn't actually know.
Now,
Or
could you say, is this really nitpicky?
I don't know if this is nitpicky. This is something that is noticeable if you go to a haunt that's maybe in its first couple years and maybe it doesn't have things like, do you, or you ask somebody that works customer service, do you guys accept tap to pay? Do you accept Apple Pay or Google Pay? And they literally say, I don't know. Let me ask somebody. You know,
I
that's what I'm talking about when I say like bad organization. Like things aren't locked down
I would have to
necessarily.
say with bad organization, really the big thing that sticks out. I haven't seen any of those kind of other examples when it comes to it, but I'm sure it's happened before. It's had to have. In a world of a million people, you're bound to have an occasional thing. However, what I usually think about when it comes to bad organization is what you previously stated about how I walk through a line and I'm like, oh, this is a card line. Oh, shoot, I was supposed to be in the cash line.
Yeah.
Or, oh, this is a line to that house. I thought it was a line to that house
This is the
because that
fast
happens a
pass
lot
line.
more often compared. Yeah,
I'm supposed to
correct.
be
Yeah.
in this line over here that's twice as long. This is the fast pass line. I'm in the wrong line. I've waited in this line for a half hour and wasted a half
Mm-hmm.
hour of my life.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. For sure. Well, let's talk about something that I love, and I think you do too, Gage. Great characters. You know, I think great characters can make a good, great, or excellent haunt even better. We
Mm-hmm.
can talk about a haunt like Green Bay Fear. Let's talk about Chaos. Let's talk about Faceless. Let's talk about Mr. Jingles. You know, let's talk about Skits. Let's talk about some of these other guys that work there.
Spoons.
Spoons from Realm of Darkness. You know, even the Swashbucklers and Birthday Girl from Terror on the Fox. These characters that you see in advertisements and that you see in promo videos and that you have seen in previous years, and you expect to see them when you come back, and when you do, you're just like, oh my god, yes, there they are, you know. And then when they see you, they're like, ah, crap, it's those guys again, you know. But the real point I'm trying to make here is great characters, recognizable characters that you identify as a part of the haunt or an important part of the haunt. I think is, well, first of all, I think it's really important to branding, but second of all, I think it really helps enhance the overall experience. Like when you're walking up and you see Mr. Jingles walking along the big pathway, swinging his chainsaw around, singing at a couple customers that just got out. Like, it's a cool vibe.
Yeah, nah.
Jana.
You
Like,
see
it's
how
a,
iconic that is? Like, because
yeah,
now
it
I'm
is.
saying it. There's lines that he said to you previously
Yeah,
that you still don't shut up about that drives me nuts. Like he'd
yeah.
walk up, Justin would walk up to me at work or wherever and be like, "You smell better when you're awake." I think is what you say.
Yeah, and you just cringe.
Yeah,
You're just like, bro,
and I'm just like,
you're like,
dude,
bro,
it's been 8 years. Stop saying that.
you're like, bro, you're so stupid. But see, dude,
to
those,
Justin, not Jingles, by the way.
but
Jingles
see,
is OG.
but see, those lines and that kind of stuff, it sticks with you
It's
so
impactful.
well. It
It really
is.
does.
It is impactful, dude, and that's why
Now,
I think they're so important.
I'm sure a lot of these lines weren't originally from them. However, it still makes me when I hear this line, I think of Jingles. When I hear this line, I think of Skits. When I hear this line, I think of Spoons. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah, you do. We do. Let's talk about another thing that we love. Very important caveat: unexpected scares. Now, I was watching some of our old reviews because I have that kind of time and I'm mental like that. And in one of
it's
the,
not narcissistic at all, you know.
I like to hear myself talk.
I don't blame you.
I openly admit it. And I was listening to you actually talk about something in the review. You were talking about how this one character was just making like a little sound, and it sounded like air pressure. And when you came face to face with this character, they didn't go bah or anything and jump out and scare you. You just didn't expect them to be there. And it got a reaction scare out of you, like a whoa scare. And that sticks with me, and I remember that, how impactful that kind of an unexpected scare was from for you. Or it's like when we used to go to the morgue,
Mhm.
and there was this big bright light in the middle of a dark forest, and the closer we got, all of a sudden this dude revs up his chainsaw and comes running at us. Like, it was good, dude. But I
I do
remember
remember that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jared and I were just talking about this the other day. When we went to Slaughterhouse, it was like three truck trailers worked together. The first room, you're shimmying through tight corridors, and all of a sudden the lights come up, and there's this massive butcher dude slamming a cleaver down on the table in front of you, like face to face, reaching for you, trying to grab you, blood spraying everywhere, just flickering lights, just terrifying nightmare level stuff, right?
Hmm.
And that was before 2020, and I still remember that scare like it happened yesterday. It
Hmm.
was unexpected, and it was awesome. So it's a scare I still remember to this day. So unexpected scares are something that I love in haunted houses. And Gage, from what we've talked about and from our reviews and discussions we've had, I think it's safe to say that you agree with me.
Oh yeah, there are plenty of scares that I can think of that almost to a sense inspire us for something we got coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I can think of a handful of them, but the one that really sticks out to me is us walking through Commando Paintball, and I don't know if I want to say it just in case if it's
Yeah. Yeah,
spoiler,
don't spoil
but
it.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
The fence.
Uh,
The fence.
yeah, yeah. So that, and also the gentleman, I believe Snake Eyes from Warriors Asylum,
Yeah.
where he slammed
Yep.
that freezer, that chest freezer, or whatever
Yep.
that was. Deafening. You know,
Yeah.
it sticks with you.
Yeah.
It sticks with you.
And you know,
Makes you look twice when you're about to go to bed and you heard it knock at night. You know.
yeah. And you know, that was an unexpected scare,
Hmm.
right? It was something we didn't see coming. It was something that it's like, there's no actor in this room. There's just a dumb prop in the corner. And do we go to this fridge? And by the time you had that thought go through your brain, it's just like, boom.
Hmm.
It was so good. It was so good. All right. Well, going along with unexpected scares, let's talk about something that I hate, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me. Lame scares. People who pop out and there's no energy. Or you walk by them and they're just holding a pipe and looking at you and going, like,
I can already picture it where they'd
you
be.
know,
I
you
walk
know,
into a room and they're just like,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about too.
and I'm like,
Dude,
okay.
you and I experienced this last year. I'm not going to call out the haunt. You and I
Mhm.
experienced this last year when we went through one of the haunts just for fun. This person just stood there holding a lead pipe and like low growling at us. It was it was lame. It was. And then sometimes, it's like a little extra energy would make the scare so good. It would make it so sharp and aggressive, but they're just like, they just come running into the scene with their little pig mask on and they're like, "Get out." And you're like, "Ugh."
There is a lot of actors and actresses that don't really necessarily rely on fear and jump scare tactics, but they go along the lines of intimidation and they try to make you feel like I'm gonna beat the heck out of you when you get in the parking lot kind of energy. When in reality, you know it's not gonna happen. So I get why you have to set up the point of that kind of intimidation or standing there scare is to set up another scare. I we're going to be talking from experience soon, but that's what I think is the best way to use kind of a standing there low energy scare. It's that kind of roller coaster. You know, you're coasting, you're coasting, and coasting, and then while you're just seeing some guy stand there, someone should come right from your peripherals or something. Ah, you know what I mean? That's how that should be played. Is my opinion. But sorry, I didn't mean to segue. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think that's a bad segue. In fact, I think you're correct because I think a lot of times those lame scares or low effort scares are incomplete scares. There's an attempt to elicit the scare, which is good, but then there's no follow up, there's no delivery. And what's even worse is if you have an incomplete scare to be your go home scare, which is the scare in the very last point of contact with your customer in the haunted attraction. Nothing worse than sending your customer out without a scare. If you want to kill somebody's enjoyment of your haunted house, a great way to do it is just to have them walk out and literally turn around and go, "That's it?"
Mm-hmm.
That's a buzzkill.
While there are some people, and I can already picture some actors thinking this, well, I've had a very long day. I've had a very long day scaring a bunch of people, so some days I'm just going to take a little break when I go ahead and try to jump scare someone. You can think that all you want. However, you still get people. This is going to sound like a male Karen kind of thing.
You
but
are
still
you are
get
kind
people,
of a Karen lately.
I think both customer and actor. That's the way I like to think when it comes to review on acting, that stuff, whatever. Oh my goodness, reviewing is that I spent money. I expect to be treated the same, just like anyone else. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, dude, I agree. It's like, remember when we were talking about Burial Chamber last year, and you were talking about how they were scaring some parts of the group. They never really targeted you at all during some of the attractions. And I told you, you paid $75 or $70 or $60 or whatever it was. You deserve the same scare experience or at least an attempt. You know what I mean?
It's understandable that actors aren't a hive mind,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I get it.
it's understandable, but it just think about the guy in front or, put some energy into it. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps and earn some money, huh? Okay, grandpa. I already got gray hair coming in, so yeah.
Yeah, you're really playing that part good now.
Yeah,
Um,
oh yeah.
Another thing I hate at haunts: uninspired scenery, boring scenery. You walk into a room and it's just a drab, like, countertop, a couple things on it, nothing really, boring. And for one room of the house, that's okay, especially if it's themed for it. But if your whole house is just dead, drab scenery, boring scenery, no low effort, you don't have that kind of burned look in some of the rooms or the bloodied look in some of the rooms or what a ripped up wallpaper, anything. If it's just all just low effort, just kind of like, oh, here's my house. Kills the vibe. There's a vibe, dude, right? Like a great example. When you walk through Bobland at Green Bay Fear, I mean, that's a vibe in there, dude. That is like Alice in Wonderland meets horror. That's like American McGee's Alice meets Mr. Jingles, basically.
And the best part about that is you go through the rabbit hole technically when you go through these tight corridors and then you're in this wonderland of a sort. So
Yeah.
if you want to have that proper theming of a room, you have to have that proper introduction. You don't want to just walk, okay, cloud room, all right, kill room.
Or even you look at like the start of the trail at Green Bay Fear, right? You got that you have wood on both sides, and then it opens up and they got hay and pumpkins and scarecrows and everything is themed, and pretty soon tater tots popping out talking about cooking you for dinner, right? Like well themed stuff. Or you look at like Mr. Jingle's Funhouse, that whole segment's in theme. Or take a look at like the crashed Scarlet Storm, the big ship over at Terror on the Fox. That whole segment with the walk through the woods and everything, with the way they put the netting and the fishing gear and the anchors and all that stuff. That stuff's all in theme, dude.
Talking about
That's
theme is that's one thing Radio Chamber I think does really well.
yeah.
Is that you okay, phobia. All right, you're touching on phobias, adrenaline, nonstop, loud music, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy. This guy there, this there, that,
Yeah.
whatever. And then no. Phobia is the outside. My fault. Phobia is the outside one. Insanity is the one where you makes it feel like you're going crazy. So phobia is the outside one. It's the hillbillies. They, you either stick with the theme, or if you're gonna play into different themes, have it be like a little taste, have a little introduction into that next room.
Yeah. And
Well,
it
yes, it's nice walking into a room with the spontaneous, oh, hey, here's this, here's that. I feel like I interrupted you. Go ahead, bud.
no, you're good, dude. I'm just saying, that's why it's so important to have inspired and
Mm-hmm.
quality scenery in your rooms and in your haunt. You
Yeah.
talk about going through phobia, right? You're in the dark. You have all those tight spaces and those little sheds that you walk through. Two massive phobias right there, right off the bat. So, I mean, you look at that kind of stuff, things touching you, things touching your face, it's like people that gets people, dude. Those are actual real phobias. So that's inspired scenery, right? Adrenaline, everything smash, bang, crash, boom, loud music, all that stuff. You can tell, right? Like it's in theme and the rooms match. Like that's the stuff I'm talking about, right? Or like you talk about like the nautical theming over at Terror on the Fox, dude. That entire segment's in theme. That's what I'm talking about. The inspired scenery. Like that's what we're looking for. And
Mm-hmm.
when you walk through some of that stuff and you're just like, oh, it's another crypt. Oh, he's going to pop out of there. Oh, boring. How many times do you see that before you just start to yawn? But when you mix that stuff in with other quality scenes, now we're talking. Now we're playing with a full deck.
There is something to be said that you should also spice it up every once in a while, every other year. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's plenty of times where I walk through a house and I'm like, all right, we got this one coming up. Oh, it is that one. We got that side coming up. Oh, it is that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you just kind of coast. Then you coast, and it's like, all right, well, I know there's this corner there, and someone's gonna say, yep, there he is.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it kind of becomes that. So
You're
scenery
absolutely
is just as important as acting. Management's just as important. There's so many elements to a haunted house. It's not just some guy with makeup going boo. There's so many unique elements of this.
and I want to tell you, I think that's what makes haunted houses to me so fascinating.
It's an art. It really is an art.
100%. When everything comes together and it meshes and everything's working on the same cylinder, that for me is like, it's not even my haunt, right? But when I walk through and I see everybody meshing and working together and getting a scare and the guy coming around the corner and getting you when you're distracted, like when I see that stuff, dude, that for me, that is just chef's kiss. Like that is just the top of the top experience for haunts for me, and I love it. So, I know we talked about surprise scares, right? Unexpected scares for something we love. Here's something I want to talk about for something we love as well. Now, this kind of goes along with the previous. Being surprised in general when we walk through a haunt. Now, I'm not just recycling these things. What I mean is, sometimes we go to haunts, usually now it's a new haunt, and we go, that was way better than I thought it was going to be. Holy crap, that was actually scary. Wow, the actors really worked those rooms. Hey, it's 50 degrees out. That girl's in a little linen dress walking backwards in the dirt. Like there is like certain things that you see and you're like, hey, this person really cooked. Hey, this person was really into what they were doing.
I like how we're sticking with the kids theme here. Oh, they cooked.
They were
Ooh,
cooking,
they cooked.
you know? Or like when we went to the haunted sawmill last year, and all of a sudden you've got 5 or 6 actors and actresses up on stage with a faux band performance that was really, really engaging. And I didn't expect it to be. I did not expect it at all. I didn't expect that going in there. I didn't expect that haunt to be 20, 25 minutes. I didn't expect it to be as much scenery and as much just like it was. Like that haunt really surprised me. So when you go to a haunt and you're just surprised in general, I love it. I love walking out of a haunt. I'll tell you what I loved. Let me tell you what I really loved. And you can tag Green Bay Fear for this one. I loved going through Chaos Nights at Green Bay Fear a month ago and genuinely going, holy crap! I love that. It's awesome. Gage, you're up. What are your
There's
thoughts?
plenty of times in the review. I like how you just called me out when I put admit my mouth. But there are plenty of times last year where I said, walking up to this Joe Schmo haunt, expecting it to be okay, here's a dude with a chainsaw, couple rooms, we're out. No, there wasn't that. Okay, I'm getting rid of that mint. That is hard. It's a sour mint. It surprises you when you go through a haunt. You're expecting some kind of little drugstore haunt, you know, some hole in the wall. It ain't. It ain't.
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
they hit you and it hurts.
Yeah. Like
Metaphorically.
Remember when we arrived at the terror shed?
Yeah, I looked at you and I'm like, all right, man.
Like, oh,
You ready to be out of here in 5 minutes?
Gage, this was our reaction. Oh shit, here we go.
And talk about surprises, man. They were up there with the rest of them, you know?
Yep. It was a really good show.
I love being proven wrong. Prove me wrong as much as you want the haunt industry. I love it.
That's why I think being surprised in general is such an awesome thing at these haunts. I think it's awesome. And it's one of my favorite things to walk out of a haunt and go, you know what? That was solid. Like that was really solid.
We send some ambiance. Keep it the green, dude. We got the green background. Okay, blue. I could do blue too. You ain't special. Man, look at us. A bunch of Zoomers over here with colored lights.
So here's something I love at haunts. And Gage, I think you might feel me on this one. I love an excellent value. You know, and we talked about that when we went through the terror shed this year. We talked about that. Remember old school Realm of Darkness when you used to go through for $10 or $13 or whatever it was? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
But remember the terror shed this last year? $15.
It felt like the little walk through memory lane, you know?
Yeah,
like,
and it felt like they crammed 2 houses into that shed. They had so many micro scenes. It's like,
and
there was
correct me if I'm wrong, and that's donated too. That money's donated.
Yeah, that's for charity.
Even though it's besides the point, I just want to throw it out there. I still think that's pretty commendable.
Yeah, I love seeing an excellent value. I love coming through a haunt and somebody being like, well, you know, Fast Pass is only $5 more than regular admission. Sign me up. You know?
And you can feel if it's a family haunt or a corporate haunt, you know? Like, you can feel that as soon as you're about to walk up to that haunt, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I love an excellent value at haunts. I think it's really great. Let's talk about something that we hate at haunts. Bad lines. We got some fresh meat. Get out. Boo.
Sorry, like I'm a little freaked out right now. I heard a thud, and I'm like, "Is Mr. Jingles in that room? What's going on here?"
Boo. Fresh
Boo!
meat.
Get out fresh meat.
Get
Meat's
out.
back on the menu. Okay,
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff like that, like things you've heard before. Like, oh, that's unique.
Yeah. So that is one thing. And the thing is, right? It's like you had all year to come up with a line and you chose that.
You ever, maybe it's kind. You ever think some actors and actresses kind of have that default line, like, oh no, they saw me. Get out. Oh.
It's so true, dude. I don't give
Do
a
you
crap.
think like,
You
like,
know
like
that.
you know?
Yeah.
I don't. They're like, yeah, they got done scaring another actor, another customer, and they're like, there's like another. Oh, get up, go.
I told Jared that when he comes through, you and I are just gonna scream "Get out" and fresh meat at him over and over and over again, right in his face.
We keep hinting at things, and I'm so excited to
Yeah, me
actually
too.
do
I'm
it.
so excited,
I'm
dude.
so
I'm
excited
so
to get
excited.
that.
Yep, yep.
Oh, oh.
All right, here's another thing we hate, and I remember the reason I put this on the list is because I encountered it recently. Again, I'm not going to call the haunt out, but I have made them aware of it.
Mhm.
Uh, breaking character. Now, if you trip and headbutt me, and then you say, "Oh, are you okay?" I'm not going to be mad about that. If I fall and break my arm and am screaming in pain, saying, "Help me, help me, help me," and the demon comes over and scoops me up and helps me walk out of the
No one's
haunt
scooping you up, bud.
and helps me walk out of the haunt,
I roasted you, dude.
I'm not
Oh,
going to be
sorry.
I'm not going to be mad.
Timestamp this quick.
I'm not going to be mad. 32:12. I'm not going to be mad. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If I walk into a room and somebody pops out of a boo box and says, "Hey, are you so and so?" You just killed any atmosphere your house could have. Any. If I'm walking through and you say, "So how do you think I should do this scare in this room?" In character, when I'm in line waiting for your attraction, breaking character outside of emergency situations can completely kill the vibe for a night. Gage, your thoughts?
It is crazy how much it does happen. And you keep changing your light. I want to change my light. It is crazy how much that does happen. Uh, I personally haven't experienced it a lot, but if we're talking due to us and this YouTube channel and experiences, I have heard at some point where we go through haunts and people behind, like the actors in the previous room, be like, "It was them," or something like that. You could hear them whisper it. They didn't even say in character; they kind of spoke, in a normal talk.
Yeah, I think that's them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's we do notice that. I want to say if you want to play a joke on who we are, you could say something along the lines of, "Is it scary enough for you?" Like kind of do something like that. Be funny and play along with it. Regardless, for anyone else, I that made me sound very narcissistic, and I didn't mean for that. But I do want to say if you want to just keep it in character, and if you need to step out, step out. Get
Well,
someone else in that room, however your break time thing goes. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's carry on with the next one.
though, hold on now. Because I want to be fair to you on the points you're making. I don't think that's
Mm-hmm.
narcissistic of you to say that, because I think people see us come through, and for the most part, they know we do review haunts. right? So I don't really think that's narcissistic of you to say that. And I think you're just being honest about it. Like, hey, if you want to mess with us with that, go ahead, you know? But don't be like, are you the guys from Is It Scary? Like, bro, I'm in the middle of your house. Maybe step out and ask me that after the
No,
attraction.
no, wait, that's not us. We're not them. We're literally wearing the shirts.
Yeah,
Not
we're
us.
not them. Not
We're
them.
not them.
This isn't the new
We're not
merch
them.
available in the description if Gage remembers to put it in.
We, you know, it's not like we've been spotted, but. Uh-oh, rage mode activated.
My point is, right, breaking character can totally kill a vibe. It can totally kill the mood. And I've seen it. I've never seen breaking character add to things. Though, as I think about it, you probably could do something with that. That could work out, actually, if you had somebody who was in on it. That might work. Another thing I hate, and I think you agree, dead rooms. When you walk through a room and you see the actors' hidey holes, right? Like you see these little cuts into the wall, like where there's like a sheet, and there's nobody there. There's nobody under the table where the sheet's over the table. You know? There's nobody up on the little kitchen walkway coming running out where all the pans are. It's just empty. That's a buzzkill, man. You know what I'm talking about, Gage? Where you walk through and it's like an empty room. Oh, here's an air jet. Psh.
If I have to look for you, that's not a good hunt. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If I have to walk through a room and look for you and there's no one in the room, I want to walk through a house and feel like it's a survival horror, not it's a hide and seek game, you know?
It's true, dude. It's very true. Yeah, it should feel like that survival horror experience. It definitely should not feel like hide and seek. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Hey, here's something I love. Aggression from the actors. You know what I mean? And we kind of saw this past year.
What do you mean? Don't you mean? That's not aggressive enough for you?
No.
Ah, I like to see you act.
Well, we kind of saw that at Green Bay Fear this last year with some of their line entertainment, and we saw that at the Chaos Nights with characters like Chaos, significantly more like aggressive and in your face. Like, that's good. Like, I like that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't want some dude to come flying out of nowhere and punch me in the face, but I like a little bit more. Yeah.
What the hell, dude?
I like a little more like in my face, like they come, oh, look at these pieces of shit, you know? like I like it when it's a little bit more aggressive, and it's not like, oh, you know, look at these losers, you know, like I like it. Yeah, I like.
There's a flinch.
Yeah, I like it when they're a little more aggressive and in your face. Like that's good. Or like when you walk through a room and you're trying to get through and they're like right here, like they're getting on you, dude, right? Like that's what I mean. Not afraid to push the envelope a little bit. That's good scare acting. I like that. The pause is to give you an opportunity to say something if you want.
I don't know. Just be scary. So it shouldn't be that hard.
You just triggered half the internet with that one.
Dude, it's crazy how if you want to trigger an actor, I got a laundry things I can say. I'm pro actor too, and it's like I know how to trigger them.
Hey,
just be scary. It's not that hard.
Gage, here's another thing we love. Talk to us about interactive. Talk to us about interreactive scares.
You just that's it. That's an inner reaction on me there. Okay, you caught me off guard. Interactive scares are they're unique because they stick with you. If you are wondering what interactive scares is. It's not your run-of-the-mill, boo, I scare you kind of thing, jump scare. It's the kind that they say, sit in that chair. Go sit in the chair. Go sit in the chair. You know, a little what?
Or the elevator.
Or the elevator, when you have to, where with what you do, you have to press a button or something to activate the next scare.
Or
you know, you have to initiate.
Socket, something like that.
You have to initiate the scare.
Yeah.
That's what we're calling interreactive.
Here's something I hate, and I think
there's too many. I want to say there's too many inside jokes between you and I that there's probably viewers is like, what the heck are they talking about? What? Why do they keep talking about these things? I'm outside of the joke. This isn't funny. Stop saying it. We don't care. We're gonna do it. Continue.
Well, you know, one thing I don't like is when you're climbing up and down and all around, you know.
Oh yeah.
So it might be not
you're
be for
bad
people
with the knees.
Might not be good for people with bad knees. This is something that I really do hate, and I think we see this sometimes at haunts. But I feel like overall the haunts are getting better about this. Bad line management. Especially when you.
Bro, wasn't this just point one?
That's lack of actors.
No, well, okay, not specifically. Sorry, I'm talking about organization.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Is this okay? Continue. Then what is it?
One thing I hate is like bad line management, right? Where like you're in line. Let's say you're in general admission, and 10 people walk up for fast pass. They take all the fast pass people and no general admission people. And then you're getting ready. You're the next group, and another couple groups of fast pass.
Oh, you're talking about this.
And then they take all the fast pass people again. They don't take anybody from general admission.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, I know what you mean.
Another thing that goes with that I hate is when they're only giving like 30 seconds or 40 seconds between groups when you can barely get around the first corner in 30 seconds or 40 seconds, and you have the next group of people coming behind you, sending groups too fast or too slow. And here, this will actually go right into the next point. Poor pacing. Right? Where it's like, okay, no scares, no scares, no scares, scare. No scare, no scare, no scare, dead room, air jet, scare. Or then it's like 30-second group, 30-second group, 30-second group, and they all end up piling on top of each other. Pacing and line management are so important in a haunt that, just like breaking character, can completely kill the vibe of an attraction. Like, imagine for a second, Gage, if we're in Mr. Jingle's Funhouse, and all of a sudden a group of 4 people comes right up behind us in the first room. Like, dude, what? That's why the pacing is so important. And that's never actually happened. I'm just using this as an example, right? That's an example of a haunt. That's an example of an attraction where the vibe and everything would get killed if you had other people in there with you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it comes to a point where you almost got to do minus points because, like, it can ruin an entire experience, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when you go through a haunt and there's a Congo line to get to the end. I've experienced that 1 or 2 times. I don't want to say anything specific.
Yeah.
But it's just, it really ruins it. And I get it when you're fast and the people in front of you are slow. However, that's where line management comes into play. You know, as you just said, line management and pacing, because you can have different checkpoints and say, "Oh, you can't go through. You gotta talk to me first.
What's the pass?
What are you doing? Running too fast? No, you going too fast." See, that's something we could do. Honestly, we should put our money where our mouth is. Anyways, it's just like,
but aren't we gonna?
If you know there's a group coming up, it'd be helpful. And stick the bat and point it right in front, stopping someone from going. What's my favorite color? Tell me my favorite color.
What's the
What did I
password?
smell my breath and tell me what I had for dinner?
What's the password?
You're welcome. Some actors are going to take that idea, by the way.
I know
Guaranteed.
there. I know there. What's the password? Yeah, bad line management and poor pacing, they go together and they can kill a vibe real quick. All right, let's talk about it. Here's the last thing that I love. Well-themed off-season events. Remember when Terror on the... Oh my God,
I'm here.
I just murdered my computer. Remember when Terror on the Fox did the airsoft rifles, the zombie tag thing where you had to go through and like shoot the zombies and stuff?
That was so long ago, but yeah, I remember.
Was it?
Yeah, dude, that was over like 6, 7 years ago.
Wow. Oh man.
Dude, we're old. You gotta remember that. We're getting old. We're not cool with the kids anymore.
We're not. We're just
Fellow
not.
children.
The point is, like, I love good off-season events. So like that one, I really liked Chaos Nights, the Dead of events, the Dead of Winter events, that kind of stuff. The Dead of Fall, Dead of Spring, like that was, I mean, it was awesome stuff. Like the Valentine's themed haunts, right? Really great stuff. Krampus, Christmas themed haunts. Like I love that stuff, dude. It gets us out, gets us back in the mood, gets us going again, gets us moving.
Little
again.
appetizers before the,
Yeah.
And also, it's also a great way for you to kind of introduce newer additions that you have to your haunt as well.
And it's also a great way to practice new scares and stuff for your upcoming season.
That too, yeah. Because no one's gonna blame you if your off season is terrible. I mean,
well, you don't want it to be terrible, but if you have a missed
okay,
scare,
that was bad.
You're probably going to get away with it a little bit better than you would.
You're gonna get a little more leeway. I mean, that's why it's not really. It's hard to want to review off-season haunts because sometimes it's a guinea pig. It's a little test guinea pig. You can't.
Gage,
yeah.
Those are some things we heart and hate at haunts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to reveal the big surprise?
You think anyone stuck around long enough in this video to know?
Well, if they did, they'll get to hear it.
Oh my God! I can't believe it! I can't believe it!
No, most people hearing that are like, who cares?
I mean, you want to do it? You take the honor. You've been so excited about it. Go ahead.
I have been excited about it. I'm not going to give details or anything, but Gage and I have officially found a haunt that is willing to let us come and scare act for an evening. So our goal is going to be to come and have this experience and get and record and splice as much content for scares as we can about us working together and kind of learning the ropes, and then bring it back to you guys. So we're really excited about that, and we're going to be, if everything goes the way we're looking, we're going to be hoping to bring that to you after the last Saturday in October. So
sorry.
Go ahead.
It's a great way not only for content for you guys, it's a great way for us to learn how the haunt industry works ourselves. Because it could take anyone with a computer and a camera or a phone and a camera to stand out in front of haunts and just say, oh, I think this was a 10 out of 10, or I think this is a 9.5 out of 10. And it takes anyone to do that. However, if you have that insider knowledge of like, okay, I understand why this actor was not able to do this because I've experienced this before. However, this doesn't excuse it entirely, but it's understandable. It gives you a sense of direction, and it helps structure our haunt reviews that much better.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Put our money where our mouth is, in short.
That's basically what it does, is that lets us say, okay, we've actually scare acted. We've actually been hit in the face. We've actually been shoved. We've actually been, screamed at or, had somebody
Don't
swing.
scare my kid.
Yeah,
Don't scare my kid.
we've actually had this experience, so we can actually say, yes, we know what this is like. Yes, we have or haven't experienced this. So it'll be nice to be able to bring that kind of a thing to our videos and just to our overall reviews in general. So I am looking forward to that. We're not going to give any specifics on it yet. We will have a announcement on Instagram when we get closer, once everything is all finalized.
Speaking of which, make sure you follow so you're staying up to date. I do post content updates letting you know when we do post, if for some reason you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Check out the merch in the description, including the "If it ain't, is it scary? It ain't shit" catchphrase merch. I want to give a huge shout out to Gage for joining me tonight and being a part of this with me. Project Is It Scary Wisconsin is not the same without you, bro. And I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Things we heart and hate about haunted attractions. I'm Justin here on Is It Scary After Dark with my best friend Gage. And we are going to see you right here next time. But Gage, there's one last thing the viewers want to know.
Is it scary after dark?
And remember, if it ain't Is It Scary, it ain't shit.